In a hermitage, many souls pass, many in search of guidance for prayer, but alas, many others in considerable difficulty, notably in the realm of holy matrimony. Recently, one after the other, I had quite dramatic situations in this very room, where a priest is called upon to be referee in a slanging match. And when things come to that level, one realizes what a tragedy it is that the sacrament of love has been deflected in such a negative direction. Indeed, just the other day, sitting just where you are sitting now, there was a young couple, and because the conversation was so dysfunctional, I had to intervene and ask if I could speak to one at a time. So the husband went out with the children and left the wife free to express herself. And a few minutes later, she unpeeled one layer and showed where he had been, yes, beating her. And I thought, this is tragedy, as they say in Italian, alla grande. You are just at the vigil, as it were, of this sacrament, and your coming together is not just an accident. The Lord is also providence and wisdom. And it's not that long ago since I whispered in the ear of one of you, I think, something to the effect of, listen to our brethren the Beatles, when they sang things like, "You're going to lose that girl." And it is something which the Beatles, here they are, way back in the 60s, were able to hand on to us young people growing up, when lyrics were still lyrics, music was still music, harmony was still harmony. And as you pointed out actually one day here, the particular harmony that the Beatles and the Beach Boys and Simon and Garfunkel were doing was the most difficult of all, the close harmony, when the voices are extremely close to each other in semi-notes, and they got it. In other words, they were human beings not pressing buttons and synthesizers, but exercising genuine and unchanging human talent. Therefore they will last. With all the consequences, because unfortunately, not on every level are they the best of models, which leads to another point. What models are youth of today receiving? Gazing at those who are overtly involved in satanic rock and all that goes with it. That is rather unpleasant, because we do actually imitate our icons and our idols, is it not true? Having said that, I would like to, yes, come back to our brethren the Beatles, because on this vigil, as it were, of your matrimony, there is one thing I want to share with you, which I'm taking from one of the gems of wisdom that they left to us in the 60s. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I shall begin. It was the time when Paul McCartney was trying to hang on to his girlfriend. Her name was Jane Asher, a very beautiful actress. She never got involved or would get involved with the drug culture, nor with the Middle East. She remained what she was. But there was the other factor of distance and time, because Paul was drawing himself into another circuit, therefore far away from his girlfriend, and she was feeling the pinch. He used his talent to try and make one last plea, and it was this, which I would like to meditate with you on for a few seconds. Try to see it my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can't go on? While you see it your way, run the risk of knowing that our love may soon be gone. We can work it out. Now that element is actually very profound. We can work it out. He was trying to get through to her with the means that he had. Now listen to what he goes on to say. Think of what you're saying. You can get it wrong, and still you think that it's all right. Think of what I'm saying. We can work it out and get it straight, or say good night. And it's so easy to say good night, isn't it? People now marry ad experimentum. We'll give it a try. And then there's a change, because actually John Lennon got into this, he liked it, and he added his own thing. It changes in nature and beat. And actually George Harrison got involved as well, so we have three composers in one. It's quite interesting, this. Each one puts his bit. Life is very short, and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend. Where you were sitting, remember those bruise marks. Fussing and fighting, my friend. I have always thought that it's a crime, so I will ask you once again. Try to see it my way. Only time will tell if I am right or I am wrong. While you see it your way, there's a chance that we may fall apart before too long. We can work it out. And this last plea goes on. While you see it your way, there's a chance that we may fall apart before too long. And so it was. You have only one chance. I would like to leave just one simple message on this feast of St. Francis, who thinks also of his partner in prayer, Claire, whom he rarely saw, because she was united to his soul and not to his body. This element of deep communion of soul, which goes beyond the body, that, alas, is what is missing in modern-day marriage. You can almost count on the fingers of one hand marriages of soul. I remember actually my prior in the monastery, when I was a young priest, saying to me one time, in French he said, "Les vrais mariages d'âme sont très rares." True marriages of soul are very rare. If you are married to another soul, you enter that soul. You hear that soul. You feel that soul. You feel that soul's suffering. You hear that soul's echo of your words and gestures. You hear without even having to open your mouth, because you enter the deepest depths of the person that you are truly wed to in a Christian marriage. Why? Because Christ is there inhabiting both of you, and you are creating a domestic church. Just like a monastery or a hermitage, Christ is in the midst, and therefore you can but handle each other with great delicacy. I want to leave you with one other message. It's this, linked. It's the question precisely of listening, what Paul was trying to say in this song, and which Simon and Garfunkel said in another one too. There is that famous line in The Sound of Silence, which talks about people talking without speaking. Look around you. Is it not true that a very high proportion of our conversations are spent in making conversation? Talking but not speaking. And he goes on, they go on, people hearing without listening. One could almost say, as I think the original may actually have said, people listening without hearing, because we're not picking up what the person is truly saying. That's a whole art. And to do it, one needs to cultivate precisely the silent mode, because one only picks up what one allows to enter in. And many a conversation are spent in blocking out the deeper meanings, hence arguments. Even where you're sitting, it was quite obvious they were attacking tiny points, scoring points, what a dysfunctional situation. Conversation is on a deep level a desire, the desire of a mendicant, a beggar, for more truth and wanting to know what the other person has learned before me. Two people who come knowing all don't instruct each other, they collide. And many a dysfunctional marriage doesn't work because they never knew the art of listening.